I still remember the exact tone in her voice when she said it. Soft, almost rehearsed. I need a break to figure myself out. No contact. We'd been dating for 3 years. 3 years of late-night drives, spontaneous trips, and planning a future together. Sure, we had our arguments. Who doesn't? But I thought we were solid. Her request blindsided me. A break? No contact? It sounded like something out of a bad romantic drama. Still, I respected it. I told her, if that's what you need, I'll give you space. I didn't beg. I didn't fight. I just stepped back. For the first few days, I kept busy. Work, gym, hanging with friends, anything to stop me from overthinking. And then, it happened. Scrolling through Facebook one night, I saw her mom had posted vacation photos from Florida. My stomach dropped. There she was, my girlfriend, not soul-searching, not reflecting, but smiling on the beach with her high school sweetheart. I froze. It wasn't just one picture. It was an entire album. Her mom had tagged her in post after post, the two of them holding hands on the boardwalk, laughing at a seafood restaurant, sitting way too close on a sunset boat ride. And the captions. Reunited after all these years. Some things are just meant to be. Her mom wasn't just posting vacation memories. She was endorsing them. At first, I thought maybe I was overreacting. Maybe it was just friendly. But then, I zoomed in on one picture, his arm around her waist, her leaning into him like it was the most natural thing in the world. That's when the heat hit my chest. Not jealousy, clarity. She didn't want a break. She wanted a replacement. And she didn't even have the courage to tell me. I didn't comment. I didn't message her. I just stared at my phone for a long time and thought, all right, if that's how you want to play it, I'll make this real easy for you. By the next morning, my decision was made. No drama. No begging for an explanation. No, we need to talk. If she wanted her space, I was going to give her enough space to build a second planet. I grabbed 3 large moving boxes from the hardware store, pulled out every single one of her things from my apartment. The clothes she forgot to take when she moved some of her stuff out, the expensive skincare products she'd stocked in my bathroom, her designer purse I'd bought her last Christmas, even the little things, the book she never finished, the framed photo of us from our first trip, her favorite coffee mug, all neatly wrapped and placed in the boxes. By the time I was done, my apartment looked lighter, like I'd just opened a window and let all the stale air out. I didn't text her. I didn't call. I simply labeled each box with her name and shipped them overnight to her parents' address. Along with the boxes, I included a simple note. Since you need time to figure yourself out, I figured you'd want all of your things with you. Best of luck. No sarcasm, no anger, just finality. And then, I opened my phone, went to Facebook, and changed my relationship status to single. It wasn't petty. It was closure, on my terms. The first 48 hours were quiet. Too quiet. No late night, can we talk? Texts. No half-hearted, I didn't mean it like that. Calls. Nothing. It was almost unsettling. I went about my weekend as if she didn't exist. Met up with some friends for drinks, cleaned my place, even signed up for a new gym membership. By Monday morning, though, I started getting the first ripple of reaction. It wasn't from her. It was from mutual friends. Hey man, did you and she break up? I saw your status change. What happened? She's posting some cryptic stuff on Instagram. I didn't answer any of them. I knew exactly what was happening. She thought I'd sit in the corner like a wounded puppy while she took her little self-discovery vacation with her high school sweetheart. Instead, she was realizing I'd erased her from my daily life without hesitation. And that's when the first direct sign came. Late Monday night. Ping. A text from an unknown number. Her. Wow. Shipping my stuff to my parents? Seriously? I stared at it for a moment. I could have replied with a snarky comment. I could have pointed out the vacation photos her mom had posted. But instead, I locked my phone, placed it face down, and went to bed. Because the silence, that was driving her insane. By midweek, I could tell her perfect little soul-searching trip wasn't going quite as planned. The first clue? Her Instagram feed slowed down. When she first left, it was constant. Beach photos, cocktails, sunsets with vague quotes like, "Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself." Now, nothing for 2 whole days. The second clue came through a mutual friend, Sarah, who had zero interest in drama, but somehow ended up in the middle. Sarah sent me a screenshot. It was from the high school sweetheart's Facebook. A tagged photo at dinner, with another girl. The caption? "Great catching up after all these years. Not my ex." That's when I realized the little fantasy she'd built in her head, rekindling some perfect love story, was starting to crack. Then came the third and most obvious sign. Her mom, the same mom who'd tagged her in those vacation photos, commented on one of them. "Hope you're okay, sweetheart. Call me." Ouch. I didn't know what happened, but I could picture it. Her break turning into awkward silences, petty arguments, maybe even a tearful dinner where she realized this old flame wasn't the answer to whatever she thought she was missing. And the whole time, she probably expected me to be in the background, waiting. But I wasn't. I'd already removed her from my bank accounts, my lease, my Netflix, and my daily thoughts. She wasn't on a break. She was gone. And that was the part she hadn't quite processed yet. It was a Thursday night. I'd just gotten home from the gym, tossed my bag on the couch, and was about to heat up some leftover pasta when my phone lit up. Unknown number. I don't usually answer, but something told me to pick it up. "Hello?" A pause. Then that familiar voice I hadn't heard in weeks. "Hey, it's me." I almost laughed. She'd actually broken the no-contact rule she had set so firmly. The same woman who said she needed space to figure herself out was now calling me like we were still in some romantic drama. "What do you need?" I asked, keeping my voice flat. I just wanted to talk. Things have been complicated." I let the silence hang. If she wanted to confess, she'd have to work for it. Finally, she blurted it out. "Can you unfreeze my cards? I can't get a flight home." Ah, there it was. Not an apology, not a heartfelt message about missing me, just a request for money. "No," I said. She went quiet, like she couldn't believe I'd answered so plainly. "What do you mean, no? I'm stranded here," she snapped. I almost reminded her that this break was her idea. The no contact, the vacation, all of it. Instead, I just said, "Figure it out, as you wished." And before she could say another word, I hung up. For the first time in weeks, I actually felt lighter, because I realized she didn't want me back. She just wanted the comfort of what I used to give her, and I was done giving. 3 days later, my phone buzzed again. But this time, it wasn't her. It was her mom. Now, let me explain something about her mom. She's the type of woman who has an opinion about everything, posts 3 inspirational quotes a day on Facebook, and still thinks tagging people in vacation photos is the same thing as sharing memories. I hesitated before answering, but curiosity got the better of me. "Hi, dear," she started, in that overly cheerful voice that people use before they hit you with bad news. "I just wanted to check in. I saw your relationship status on Facebook. Is everything okay between you and my daughter?" I wanted to laugh. Was everything okay? The woman had literally gone on a vacation with her high school sweetheart while telling me she needed space. "I think you should ask her that," I replied. "Well," she sighed, her tone shifting. "She's not doing too well right now. She called me crying yesterday. She said you froze her cards, and now she can't get home." There it was, the guilt trip. But instead of taking the bait, I simply said, "She made her choice, and I respected it. She wanted no contact. I'm keeping my end of the deal." There was a pause. Then, almost like she was trying to negotiate peace in a war, her mom said, "Well, maybe you two could just talk? You've been such a good influence on her. Talking isn't going to change what she did," I said firmly. "And with all due respect, this is between me and her, not you." I ended the call before she could reply. But later that night, I couldn't stop thinking about something. If her mom was calling me, that meant things with her high school sweetheart were probably already falling apart. And if I knew her at all, she wasn't calling because she missed me. She was calling because her backup plan had failed. A week later, I was at the airport for a work trip. It was early morning. I was running on caffeine and a blueberry muffin, and I just wanted to get to my gate without drama. But then I heard it. That familiar voice. Sharp and dramatic enough to cut through the crowd noise. "You've got to be kidding me." I turned, and there she was, my ex. Luggage in one hand, a tattered designer tote in the other, wearing the same look-at-me sunglasses she used to parade around when I was footing the bill. And she wasn't alone. The high school sweetheart was standing right behind her, looking like he had aged 10 years in a week. His shirt was wrinkled, and his expression said, regret. We locked eyes. For a second, it felt like the entire terminal went silent. She took a step toward me, ditching the fake smile she'd probably been wearing for Instagram photos. "Really?" she snapped, low enough so only I could hear. "You had to block everything? My cards? The rent? Everything? You know I was counting on you." I raised an eyebrow. "You told me you needed space. I gave you space. You told me no contact. I respected it. What's the problem?" Her jaw tightened. "The problem is, you left me stranded. Do you have any idea how humiliating it was to ask my parents for help?" I looked over at her new guy, who was staring at the floor like a kid who just got caught shoplifting. "Maybe you should have asked him for help," I said. Her face flushed. And then, in a tone halfway between desperation and entitlement, she said the thing that confirmed everything I already suspected. "Look, can we just talk? Maybe work something out?" I smiled, but it wasn't the kind of smile she wanted to see. "We did work something out. You get your space, and I get my peace." I walked away without another word. But as I headed toward my gate, I could feel her eyes burning into the back of my head, and I knew this wasn't the last time she'd try to pull me back into her chaos. 2 weeks passed after the airport scene, and honestly, I had almost forgotten about her. Work was busy, my friends were keeping me distracted, and my apartment felt lighter. No clutter, no drama, no pretending. Then, one Friday evening, I came home to something unexpected. A small package sitting at my door. No return address. I brought it inside, opened it up, and froze. Inside was a stack of printed photos. Us. Trips to the beach. Birthdays. Expensive dinners. And on top, a handwritten note in her dramatic, loopy handwriting. I made a mistake. We belong together. Let's fix this before it's too late. I stared at it for a moment, half expecting Ashton Kutcher to jump out and yell, "You've been punked!" Nope. This was her, trying one last emotional grenade to blow her way back in. I didn't reply. I didn't call. Instead, I pulled out my phone, took a picture of the note, and sent it to her with a single message. I hope you find what you're looking for, but it's not here anymore. 5 minutes later, my phone started blowing up with calls and texts from her number, the same number I had blocked weeks ago. She was calling from someone else's phone now. I didn't answer. I didn't need to, because in that moment, I realized the best revenge wasn't what I took away from her. It was the fact that she could no longer get to me, no matter what she tried. And that's when I finally smiled, the real kind. The kind that comes when you know you've closed a door for good. 2 weeks passed after the airport scene, and honestly, I had almost forgotten about her. Work was busy, my friends were keeping me distracted, and my apartment felt lighter. No clutter, no drama, no pretending. Then, one Friday evening, I came home to something unexpected. A small package sitting at my door. No return address. I brought it inside, opened it up, and froze. Inside was a stack of printed photos. Us. Trips to the beach, birthdays, expensive dinners, and on top, a handwritten note in her dramatic, loopy handwriting. I made a mistake. We belong together. Let's fix this before it's too late. I stared at it for a moment, half expecting Ashton Kutcher to jump out and yell, "You've been punked!" Nope, this was her, trying one last emotional grenade to blow her way back in. I didn't reply. I didn't call. Instead, I pulled out my phone, took a picture of the note, and sent it to her with a single message. I hope you find what you're looking for, but it's not here anymore. 5 minutes later, my phone started blowing up with calls and texts from her number, the same number I had blocked weeks ago. She was calling from someone else's phone now. I didn't answer. I didn't need to, because in that moment, I realized the best revenge wasn't what I took away from her. It was the fact that she could no longer get to me, no matter what she tried. And that's when I finally smiled, the real kind. The kind that comes when you know you've closed a door for good. It had been about 6 months since everything went down. By then, my life felt normal again. No late-night arguments, no drama-filled texts, no "we need to talk" ambushes. I had started dating casually, nothing serious, just coffee dates and meeting new people. Work was going great. I'd taken a trip with friends, and for the first time in a long time, I felt free. Then, out of nowhere, my buddy Matt texted me, "Bro, you're not gonna believe who's at this party." I replied, "Who?" A minute later, my phone buzzed with a picture. It was her, my ex, and next to her was Matt's coworker, a guy I'd met once. Turns out she had started dating him. And not just that. She had been asking him questions about me. Little sneaky questions like, does he ever talk about me? Is he seeing someone? Do you think he's over it? Matt told me she was acting all flirty, but then kept steering every conversation back to me. It wasn't about the guy she was with. It was about getting to me through him. That's when I decided to end this game once and for all. I sent Matt a short message to pass along to her. Tell her, I'm exactly where I want to be, and it doesn't involve looking back. According to Matt, she froze, gave an awkward laugh, and then spent the rest of the night drinking in the corner. And that was it. No more notes, no more packages, no more attempts to claw her way back. I wasn't just free from her. I was free from the version of myself that used to tolerate people like her. The break she asked for? Turns out it wasn't just what she needed. It was exactly what I needed too. About a year after everything, I got a notification on my phone from an unknown number. The message just said, "Hey, I know you probably don't care, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry for everything." No name, no details, but I knew exactly who it was. I stared at the screen for a moment, thinking about everything that had happened. The lies, the manipulation, the guilt trips. Old me would have replied, maybe even forgiven her, but this time, I just deleted the message. Because the truth is, some doors aren't meant to be reopened, and some people aren't meant to be let back in no matter how sorry they claim to be. I didn't block her. I didn't respond. I simply let her words disappear into the digital void. For the first time in my life, silence felt like the most powerful thing I could say.